Hello and welcome back to Building on a Budget Models. I'm Thomas and this is the second part of the Hasegawa Ford Focus WRC 2000 in 1/24th scale. Now firstly, this is a pretty well moulded body, most of the details are there, some of the mould lines are hidden within the panel lines of the car and there's just a few around the bumpers. I sanded them away with 400 grit sandpaper. Before painting, I drilled through the holes for the aerial in the roof, and then it was primed in white and then painted in gloss white by Tamiya. Now, these blue decals on the back are never going to sit there nicely, so instead I photocopied the decal sheet and then cut out some of the shapes to use as templates with this 2cm Tamiya masking tape. Curved masking tape was also very useful here. And then I sprayed a couple of coats of TS15 blue from Tamiya, which was a near enough match for the decal colour. There was a few places with overspray which I dealt with a bit of thinners on a cotton bud. But parts of the inside wouldn't matter as it would be hidden later on. I then trimmed the Martini stripes away from the blue decals and applied those on their own. I used some UMP strong decal solution and also a hairdryer on a low setting to help them fit into the complex lines and curves as best as possible. There are lines on the roof to help you work out where this one needs to go. Now these ones down the side were particularly difficult. These decals are quite thick. Pays to be patient. I found that decal solution and a hairdryer really helped. These ones on the bonnet weren't quite so bad. Now this rear wing I painted, the top in the blue colour and the underside in fluorescent red by Tamiya. I then used a Sharpie here to do the central brake light. There are decals for this wing, but I decided to paint them before attaching it just to make sure that there was the right colours in the right places. It's then time for sponsor decals. These all went on really nicely, although I found that the Hasegawa decals needed the water to be a little warmer than maybe, say, Tamiya or Revell decals. The kit also provides you with some extras decals, so I've got some left over from this. McRae used number 5 in 2000. This one here that goes on the rear wing is actually too big, so I also went around the edge with a craft knife to cut it away a little. Alcohol sponsorship was banned at the time in France in sporting events, hence why this car didn't carry the Martini logos. I found that the red from the underside really kind of bled through here, so I decided to put down 2 squares of white decal paper here, which, as you'll see later, really helped. There you can see much less of the Martini stripe bleeding through the white square. The roof scoop here needs to go on before you add a Ford decal to the top. And there it is with all the decals. I really like this livery. I think it looks a lot better with the predominant blue as opposed to the predominant red that was used in '99. I also gave it a quick test fit over the interior and undercarriage. Now once I was happy with the decals, I gave it 3 coats of TS13 clear and then a little bit of a polish, but I've not shown that here. When I was happy though with the level of shine, I then went to work on some of the black sections using Revell 302 semi-gloss black. Steady hand and a thin brush were useful here. I did consider cutting this grille out, but I decided that the Ford badge would struggle to attach onto mesh. I then used some Revell silver for the lights at the front. It's quite difficult to paint these window surrounds as the indentation isn't very strong, so I used some thinners on a cotton bud to kind of clean them up afterwards. I also put the decals on the front bumper. Now these are the night stage lights. I painted them all silver and then masked over the front of them here so that the back sides of them could be painted black really easily. Peel away the large sheet of masking tape and reveal the silver underneath. Now for these light pods, there's a little kind of pin on the back which is designed to fit into the bumper. I removed this and then got out my neodymium magnets. Now there's lots of safety warnings on these, so do read them carefully. Now I put a pair together and then paint the back sides of them in red and blue, which helps you to work out which way they go around. I then know that the red side needs to go outwards on the back of the bumper here. I'm pretty happy with those two. And there you are, you see they come off really nicely. Make sure the glue is really dry before attaching the lights onto the bumper. I'm using Gorilla Glue gel to fit these magnets and also to fit the lights together. I then used some Revell Contactor clear glue to fit the lenses in. The 2 central ones here are just clear lenses, but the outside ones have got vertical lines on them to get them in the right place. I found the wax pencil here is really useful for picking up these small lenses. Now these magnets are very strong, so I tend to remove things like my watch beforehand. Found that if you put them in like this and then put a dollop of glue on the underside of the bonnet and then drop a magnet on, it should find the correct position to match up with the other side. And there we are. Let them dry before trying to move anything. But there, that's really flush and I'm really happy with that. It's really an effective look. Now the photo etch parts are slightly magnetic but not strong enough. I think there's not enough kind of steel or iron in there to interact with the magnets, fortunately. The grille here was painted in semi-gloss black and then I put the Ford decal over the top. There's then a couple of orange indicator lights which I glued to some plumber's aluminium tape and painted orange using a Sharpie. Those were put into place on the bumper. And also I've got these MSM Creation Chrome Effect Rally badges, which are a really nice touch. I found the smaller Ford one went on the front really well and the larger one went on the rear. And there we have it. In the next part, I will be putting it all together. Here it is a little preview with the interior in place. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.